Vol faithful, it is dark mode time. Tennessee takes on Oklahoma in Neyland Stadium. And you know that place is going to be rocking. Will our defense step up or step down? Oh, we're going to talk about this.
You know what Baker Mayfield said about Neyland Stadium? He said, it's a different type of loud. Can't even describe it. Can't describe it? It's okay. His teammates did. And I quote, I ran out of the tunnel for warm-ups, and I was greeted by thousands of screaming fans. The game wouldn't even start for over an hour, but those people seemed to think it was kickoff. Those psychotic students already giving us a preview of what to expect in the hours to come. What followed was a dissertation of an impact a crowd could have on a football game. They made it absolutely impossible to communicate. But on the first drive, we had to change our snap count because even our silent count was ineffective against the wall of noise. I came off the field after the first drive, and I reassured my coach that the fans would settle down in due time, and that noise wasn't going to be an issue going forward. Boy, was I wrong. The noise was a constant, oppressive force. I could literally feel it on my skin. Those fans weren't just loud on the first drive, or even just third down, but every single play. End quote. Wow. Ball Nation. He's talking about us. Don't let up.
I am excited about this game. Most people are making it seem like Oklahoma is dead in the water. Look, as a Volunteer fan, I would love nothing more than to blow the doors off of Oklahoma. But let's just get one thing straight. Their defense is pretty solid, something our defense really could improve on. Look, there is no question that our defense has issues that needs to be solved. However, it's probably more of an end of the season type of situation. We know what it is. We have talked about it long enough throughout the season. Whether people believed us and now have succumbed to the truth that Tim Banks and our defensive coaching staff may be an issue. Maybe it's the players. Ultimately, it falls on Tim Banks' shoulder. Our offense may have to carry us in this game. Josh Heupel may have to do what he did last week against Kentucky, and that's put up 50-something points against a very good Oklahoma team. Is it possible? It's very possible. Is it going to be difficult? Very difficult. But you know one thing we can affect, guys? We are at Neyland Stadium. Neyland Stadium is our strongest ally. Why? Because who's going to match the Volunteer Nation? Who's going to match our energy in Neyland Stadium other than ourselves? No one can do it across this country. Neyland Stadium is special. So if we want to get to a playoff, this is what we're going to have to do, guys. We got to show up and show out. We got to remind Oklahoma and the rest of the nation what time it is, and it's game time. Tennessee has no more room for error. We have to win. Win or don't make it to the playoffs. It's pretty much playoffs or bust when it comes to Tennessee football. At the beginning of the year, no one believed we had a chance to make it to the playoffs. I mean, I did. I believed we could make it. I believed our defense was going to be part of the reason we made it. But I also believe that as long as Joey Aguilar could at least be good enough to manage a game, we were going to get there. Has Joey just managed the game? No. He has taken over the game and been an X factor for this Tennessee offense. And our offensive line much improved even from last year, and that's saying something without Cooper Mays. All that to say, our defense has been our Achilles heel. We're going to need our defense as much as we're going to need our offense. We're going to need everybody. Let's not make the mistake of sleeping on these guys just because the media has overhyped us in this game or said we should win this game because, well, our defensive line matches up better than their offensive line. We matched up really good against Kentucky. We should have held them to no more than 17 points. And they put up 34 points on our defense. And the way they did it, whew, I'd hate to be on that field because I'd be embarrassed. And if I was a coach, I'd hate to be the players because what we about to do after this game, nobody's going to like. We cannot get embarrassed by material. If our defense doesn't show up, I'm going to go ahead and tell you what the number's going to look like. He's going to throw for 300 to 400 yards, 4 touchdowns, maybe run for one, and maybe win late in this game and have everyone going, oh, Josh Heupel put up like 40-something points and they still lost. Yeah, at that time, all the sports talk radios and so on, when I said that Tim Banks had to go, that there needed to be an adjustment, I don't want to see you guys jump on the bandwagon now. I've been told you because it's not just been this year. Let's get this out real quick. I did not say Tim Banks needed to be let go because of this year's performance alone. I said it's his consistent ineffectiveness that has truly just crippled our defense throughout this season. And really, even when we had a good defense, which, by the way, last year we had a very good defense, so much so that, we're starting to go, man, I see where these players really helped us out. Well, let me tell you something. Even last year, Tim Banks crippled our defense at times where it was like, why is our defense giving up all these yards? Why is our defense looking bad? It's the play calling. It's the play calling, and it's really the lack of technique that some of our guys had to give us that elite edge consistently. But it's a new week. All right, so quick injury update. Ricky Gibson is still out, and he's believed to be out for the rest of the season. So my source being the Swain event, Jason Swain, this guy understands what's going on within the program. So if he thinks he's out, I'm going to go with what he says. Travis Smith Jr. still out on the season so far after that Georgia game injury. And look, we got Radarius Jackson back, so kind of helps the receiver room. Love to see him return sometime soon. Would definitely help us out more in that department. And, of course, Jermod McCoy is still out. No surprise, but we were kind of hearing some reports he was in shoulder pads. Hopefully we get to see him sometime this season. Will we? I don't know. And then last but not least, Arion Carter. He's been dealing with a turf toe injury throughout the season, and he didn't play last week. I don't know if he'll play this week. It really depends. Do we need him? Yeah. It's Oklahoma. We need all the help we can get. If he could fight through it, love to see him. And then, love to see him take a break until, the Florida game and, of course, the Vanderbilt game. So we will see. So with that being said, Jay, let's get into the stats of this game.
Tennessee's offense looked really good last week, and so it's definitely added to their numbers for the 2025 season. Joey Aguilar is 166 for 252, a total of 2,344 yards, 18 touchdowns, 6 interceptions. Deshaun Bishop has 91 carries for 652 yards, 9 touchdowns. Star Thomas, 75 carries, 418 yards, 5 touchdowns. Peyton Lewis, 53 carries for 227 yards and 6 touchdowns. Your receivers, Chris Brazzell, I think we just heard that he's one of the, if not the number one wide receiver for the NFL draft this year.
He's most definitely in the top 3. I think he is the number 1, but he's definitely going to be top 3 receiver draft stock wise. You see what the guy does. He goes up, high points the football. He's got great size, great athleticism, great speed. Look, he's been embarrassing defenses left and right. Doesn't matter if you're Georgia, doesn't matter if you're Alabama, it doesn't matter. He has caught the ball. Matter of fact, he looks so good catching the ball, they throw flags on him because apparently he's just too good.
Yeah, so Chris Brazzell has 43 receptions for 740 yards and 8 touchdowns. Braylon Staley, 47 receptions for 628 yards, 3 touchdowns. Mike Matthews, 35 receptions, 562 yards.
I just want to say this. I know you're rattling off the stats, but can we just take a moment and recognize our 3 receivers have all over 500 yards, and the season ain't even over? Anybody in the SEC or around the country want to talk about a trio like Tennessee has? We have the weapons. Why aren't we? Why have we lost games? How have we lost games? Look, 700 receiving yards. The next guy, the closest guy behind him's got 600 yards. Look, let's hold on. That's why Kentucky got smoked, because all we need to do is pass the ball. If you think you can go one-on-one with our receivers and they catch the ball, hey, good luck, Chuck.
Well, and now you have Radarius Jackson back, too. So
And I forgot to mention that. How about that? Radarius Jackson, and hopefully we can get Trey Smith Jr. back. He's been floating around that questionable. We're not quite sure, so we'll see. I mean, we got Ethan Davis is back. We talked about it last week. These guys being back have really helped the offense, and our offense is clicking.
For sure. So let me finish Mike Matthews' stats.
I apologize.
That's okay. Let's see. Mike Matthews, 35 receptions, 562 yards, 3 touchdowns. Miles Ketzelman, 23 receptions, 226 yards, and 2 touchdowns. So for total rushing yards, Tennessee is sitting at just above 1,500 yards, 1,510 to be exact. And then your receiving yards, 2,571. So you guys are just over 4,000 yards in total offensive yards.
Ballin'. Yeah, that's right. That's what number one offense looks like right there. That's what a top offense looks like. Let's talk about our defense.
So what's really funny is your defense actually looks pretty good on paper. Your linebackers, they have all of these large tackle numbers. Your defensive line looks really good. You are number 6 in the country for sacks. Fun fact, Oklahoma is number 3. I think the difference is 2 sacks total. But overall, the numbers for the defense looks really good, but it's wild because you're 99th in the country for defense. And the reason for that is because you guys are 70th in the country for allowing your opponents to get third down conversions.
Yeah, I mean, it's a problem. The biggest issue is Tennessee gives up the big play. They give up chunk plays.
Third and banks, I'm telling you guys. It's a thing. Third and banks. So, anyways, Arion Carter, 20 solo tackles, 41 assists, 1 sack. Edwin Spillman, 21 tackles, 28 assists, 1 sack. Edris Farouk, 21 tackles, 24 assists. Jeremiah Thielander, 19 tackles, 26 assists. Andre Turrentine, 23 tackles, 18 assists. Jalen McMurray, 24 tackles, 14 assists, 2 sacks. Colton Hood, 23 tackles, 9 assists. Joshua Josephs, 15 tackles, 14 assists, 4 sacks. Dominic Bailey, 7 tackles, 10 assists, 4.5 sacks. Tyree West, 9 tackles, 8 assists, 4 sacks. I mean, these numbers look really good. It's clearly your secondary that is the biggest problem. I mean, it's not something that is
Newsflash.
This is not breaking news by any stretch of the imagination, and I don't want to harp on it a whole lot longer today, but I mean, there's no other explanation for why your defense keeps giving up so many points every single game. It has to be the secondary.
Well, it's really a combination of not just the secondary, but the rest of the defense. Yeah, our defensive line is really good. And most of the time we get home, right? We get to the quarterback. Our linebackers have been pretty good, but it's the inconsistency. And once again, this goes back to coaching. Individuals can tell me till they're blue in the face, X's and O's, and this is where they're supposed to. That's fine and dandy, cool. But let's talk about the meat and potatoes of a thing. You as a corner can understand a play call all day long. But if you don't have the proper technique and the understanding of your position, as far as, this is my main goal as a corner, as a safety, as a linebacker. This is what I'm responsible for, regardless of what the play call is. This is my base, this is my base initiative. I am a corner. I am a safety. The in-depth of what I'm saying is, as a corner, I know I'm supposed to play coverage on wide receivers, but there is a technique behind doing so. right? I know that if I'm up close to the line of scrimmage, my job then, regardless if I'm in zone or whatnot, or man, I need to bump, or that's why they call it bump and run, but I need to at least throw off the route of the receiver, to throw off his timing, to give my defensive line a greater chance of getting to the quarterback. If I'm a linebacker and it's a run play, I've identified it's a run play. You know, you're supposed to fill gaps and so on, but you're also supposed to take on blocks, because sometimes you can shoot a gap and the play's nowhere to be found and you left a gaping hole. So sometimes it's best to take on blocks and read the play and then try to force that blocker back into the path of the runner, you know, and try to create some havoc, you know, be physical. Too many times I've seen our guys try to slip by blocks, and then there's a huge hole there, and then all of a sudden they're going right by. Too many times have I seen Boo Carter and other corners try to guard someone, you know, within 5 yards of the line of scrimmage, which I personally like. I'm not saying we got to be on the line of scrimmage. I think if you're in that 5-6 window, it gives you a chance to read what he's doing, gives you that window to still come up and jam him or throw him off his route without catching a flag. Believe it or not, folks, it's actually in the rule books. You can be physical within 5 yards of the line of scrimmage with the wide receiver. Why aren't we? Why are we're playing hand check? Our guys, if you go back and watch the footage, they play patty cake with the wide receivers as they go right around them. And, you know, since Tim Banks doesn't usually have safety help for, you know, both sides of the field, which, you know, they get cooked over the head. You know, the ball goes over their head. You know, they got poor technique from the jump. There are little things you're supposed to do, is all I'm saying, that will help you in your position during a play. We don't do that. Why are they being coached that? And amidst of all this, our defense does not tackle well. I mean, how many times have we had the angle on a guy and our guys don't break down, aka chop feet, you know, just get in your position, set your feet, you know, lock up. And what do? They take a poor angle, they dive at feet. Like, I don't even understand this. When did Tennessee defenders start just diving at legs? What is that? You know, I'm just going to dive at your feet and just pray for the best. No, stand up, see what you're hitting. You know, set your feet, set your body, square up, and wrap up. Make a play. We take bad angles. We don't tackle well in space, which is another reason why people get first downs all the time, because, you had them stopped and you didn't wrap up. Sometimes we don't gang tackle enough, like, he's got him. Oh, no, he's still running. Bro, come on, make a play. But we would tackle, which, you know, that's a technique. Tackling is a technique. We would be in much better situation. But this is part of coaching, and you know, this once again falls on our defensive coordinator and his assistants. Okay, Jay, let's talk about Oklahoma's offense.
So Oklahoma's offense looks fine. Like, I wouldn't say that they are this, you know, super top-notch offense. I mean, but they look pretty good. I know John Mateer had surgery on his hand, so maybe he's not performing as well as he, you know, might have if he were fully healed. But your offense isn't just one guy. There's a whole slew of people that help make your offense look great. And honestly, they just look okay to me. But John Mateer, he is 150 for 236, 1,790 yards, 8 touchdowns, 6 interceptions. Their run game, not really, like, it's just not over the top to me. Troy Blaylock, 93 carries, 401 yards, 4 touchdowns. John Mateer, 78 carries, 226 yards, 5 touchdowns. Okay, so that says to me that John Mateer will use his legs the whole time that he is playing against Tennessee, or he can use his legs at least while he's playing against Tennessee, because he's their second leading rusher. So that is something that Tennessee's defense is going to need to look out for. But their next leading rusher is Xavier Robinson with 36 carries for 217 yards, 3 touchdowns. And then it really tapers off significantly after that. They have a total of 1,041 rushing yards. Their receivers, Isaiah Satenya, he's going to be a problem because he's fast.
That guy's extremely fast. I mean, just watching him on tape against Ole Miss, him coming across on that crossing route, or more like an underneath route, if you will. He catches the ball in stride, and, I mean, he pulls away from their defense like a Sunday stroll. The guy was gone. And I'm thinking, oh, my God, if that's Boo Carter or somebody guarding him, oh, man.
Yeah, I mean, he's definitely fast. He's got 43 receptions for 624 yards, 5 touchdowns. Jaron Kanak, 27 receptions for 394 yards. And then Deion Burks, 36 receptions, 390 yards, 2 touchdowns. So their pass game, has a total of just under 2,000 yards, 1,971 yards. Their offense just doesn't stand out to me. To me, it looks like I'm reading off the stats again for Arkansas, for Mississippi State, for Texas A&M. It just doesn't stand out to me. I mean, for the love of all that is holy, Joey Aguilar has almost 2,400 passing yards. When I see these other offenses, I'm just not super impressed with them. And then they come up against Tennessee, and it's just like, perfect example, Kentucky last week. Like, you want to talk about a mediocre offense, and then they come up against Tennessee, and it's just all of a sudden they're the best offense in the country. I don't understand. I do understand. But, again, I don't understand why these... You know what it is?
What is it, Jay?
I cannot wrap my little brain around why everybody thinks that these teams are just like, woo, so amazing. I cannot wrap my brain around it. I am looking at these numbers, I'm looking at these stats, and I'm going, I mean, they're okay, but they're not awesome.
Is that what it is? That's what it is?
I can't understand why the media and other sports talk people tout these other teams as just so unbelievably exceptional when they're really not. At least they're not on paper. Do they have some explosive plays? Sure. Are some of these quarterbacks good? 100%. Their offenses look good when they play a team like Tennessee because Tennessee's defense lets you guys down. And that's really frustrating to watch. Even as somebody who's not like a huge Tennessee fan, like, it's just disappointing to watch because you see how good Tennessee's offense really is, and nobody's really talking about it. I mean, they're starting to talk about it now, but we're 9 weeks into to the season.
The media bias is ridiculous, and I've been speaking on this matter. Just perfect point in case. Nobody was talking about Ty Simpson early and often. Yes, their football team won some good games against some good teams, but when you look at his numbers, not really impressive. But all of a sudden, he's this great Heisman quarterback, and he can get first downs and better. And then you look at the play, and it's like, well, be honest with you, Alabama's defense has really come on. Their defense is elite, and when you look at these games, that's the difference. The reason why we don't stand out like we should is because our defense has let us down. And other teams have. Oklahoma's defense hadn't let them down. All right. Alabama's defense didn't let them down. Georgia's defense has been a little inconsistent. Not a typical Georgia defense, but they play when it mattered the most. They made plays when it mattered the most, and they have the wins to prove it. So at the end of the day, the reason why these teams are getting talked about is because their defense is doing enough to make their offense look better than what they really are. And I don't care what you say. There's no world where I think Ty Simpson's a better quarterback than Joey. So
you have made that perfectly clear.
I'm going to say it again. I'm tired. Y'all leave me alone in the comments about daggum Ty Simpson.
Speaking of defenses that make their offense look better than what they actually are, Oklahoma's defense, they look really good on paper. The difference is not only do they look good on paper, but they are actually able to execute on the field. Oklahoma is, I believe it was number 7 for stopping third down conversions. Tennessee is 70th. That's going to be a huge problem for Tennessee. If Joey can't throw a bunch of first down passes just back to back to back, that could be a really big problem. And of course, they're number 3 in sacks. So, they can get to a quarterback. So Tennessee's offensive line is going to have to do their job and protect Joey.
Yeah, our offensive line has been really solid this season. They've made a couple of mistakes here and there recently, but nothing that can't be fixed or that they hadn't already fixed. it's going to be an interesting matchup, our offensive line versus their D-line. Look, make no mistake, Oklahoma's defense doesn't need me to tell you guys how good they are. I'm going to go ahead and give them their credit right here. They're a top 5 defense for a reason. I think some even say they're number 1. Look, it doesn't matter. Their defense is for real, all right? And our offense is for real when they show up. It's going to be a good matchup.
Yeah, absolutely. Let's see here. Kip Lewis, 22 tackles, 21 assists, half a sack. I will never understand how half a sack is possible, but whatever. Robert Spears Jennings, 23 tackles, 12 assists. Owen Heineke, 16 tackles, 17 assists, 1 sack. I think some guys that are going to be super notable for Tennessee to watch out for is Taylor Wayne, 17 tackles, 9 assists, 3.5 sacks. Mason Thomas, this guy you guys really need to watch out for, 15 tackles, 7 assists, 5.5 sacks. You don't really want to mess with these guys, so the O-line's really going to have to pay attention there.
Yeah, this is ultimately going to fall on the O-line, but it's really going to also fall on Joey to actually check us into the right blocking schemes, if you will. He's going to have to talk to the line of scrimmage. Easy part is it's in Neyland. It's not on the road, so it's not going to be hard to hear the adjustments. So it'll be interesting to see how he adjusts, to see what, as a whole, our offense coordinator decides to call based on what Oklahoma does. I'm not going to say we have the full complement of our wide receivers and tight ends, but we have enough of them to make a difference. So Tennessee, once again, offensively could have a great game. I'm just curious to see what our defense is going to do. But I've said it before where our offense should have balled out and our defense balled out. And you're like, oh, okay, well, maybe Tim Banks has made the adjustment and the offense struggled, but we found a way to win. Hopefully this is not one of those games where the defense played better than the offense because, I don't know. But if both parties can come out here and play a whole game, Oklahoma's in trouble. I will say that. You can't be in Neyland Stadium with the fans rocking and Joey Aguilar's throwing dimes and the defense is getting stops and turnovers. Woo, that's when Tennessee's fun.
Yeah, I would agree. Your offense and your defense are going to have to play complementary football on Saturday, or you will not win this Oklahoma game. And Oklahoma is out for revenge. You guys beat them last year at home, and they were not happy about it. You know, they're coming for Tennessee. They want to take out Tennessee at the knees in Neyland Stadium because most teams come into Neyland looking for that crown, right? They want to be able to say that they took out Tennessee at home. But I believe that Oklahoma is one of the teams that could do it if Tennessee's not careful, because Oklahoma has something to prove after last year. And not to mention, Josh Heupel is not only an Oklahoma alum, he was also Oklahoma's Heisman candidate back in 2000, and he was the runner-up for the Heisman Trophy, but still, I mean...
He won a national title there. There were some podcasters, a specific one, who were trying to tell us, oh, you better hope that you lose some games and that we win some games so that we don't steal Josh Heupel from you. Like, Josh Heupel don't want to go back to Oklahoma. He don't care about Bob Stoops and Barnaby Jones and the Sooner. Like, y'all allowed Bob Stoops to disrespect, like, your best offensive weapon by far. And he goes and learns some important lessons and then grows, and then Tennessee gives him an opportunity. Sorry, Oklahoma. On that note, I hope you enjoy this loss we're going to hand to you, right? 2 times in a row. Dark mode, baby. All right, guys, final thoughts. Look, Tennessee has a great opportunity to go out here at home and get a huge victory. Whether we win by, a point or Vols by 50, the important thing is to win. It is win and advance. That's just what it is right now. I said it before. Beat Kentucky, move forward. Beat Oklahoma, move forward. That's what we have to do. That's all we have to do. If we want to get an opportunity to win a national title, because the chances of us going to an SEC championship are very slim, we would need a lot of teams to collect up some conference losses. It's not impossible. The way the conference is set, it's not impossible. But the chances are you are just trying to get to a playoff. Now, if an opportunity comes that where we can go to an SEC championship game, so be it. We're just trying to get to the playoffs, at the least. So, with that being said, we have an opportunity to go out here and get a win. Would I like to see Tim Banks call a great defensive game? Yeah. Would I like to see the technique of our defense improve? Yeah, I would. Would I like to see Jermod McCoy out there? Yeah, I would. But at the end of the day, the realistic expectation is our defense needs to do enough to get a couple of stops. Our defense is going to have to rely heavily on our defensive line to make plays. And I really don't know where all that's at this point. I believe in our defense, but at the same time, you still got to go out there and execute. And this past couple of games, they've not really done that well. Why? Could have been multiple reasons. Tim Banks, play calling, lack of motivation, frustration, injuries, all of it at once, guys. It's all of it at once. You still got to move past. You still got to do something. Hey, show me something, guys. Offensively, I have no doubts about our offense in this game. Now, if our offense gets shut down and something happens, it happened. But I have no doubts going into this game our offense is going to do what they're going to do. It's the defense, and I'm concerned a little bit about it. I am concerned about our defense and how they're going to respond, simply because I think it is now proven that our coaches hadn't prepared these guys. I think it's just clear that they're not prepared. They don't have the technique, and now we don't have the depth because is Colton Hood going to play? I don't know. You have some guys that may not be equipped to play the position. Are they going to respond? Do we love to just believe they're just going to have a great game? Look, the Ty Redmonds of the world, we don't have too many of those right now. I was perfectly fine with Ty Redmond and Colton Hood playing the corner position for us and being successful with the right play calling and the right positioning. You take one of those guys away, now we got an issue. At the end of the day, Tennessee, we have to help our team by showing up and showing out. Let's do that. Let's get a win. Oklahoma's going to be tough. Jay?
My final thoughts are, I am going to be really blunt here. I don't believe in your defense. Let me rephrase that. I don't believe in your defensive play calling. I still stand by the fact that the play calling is not setting up your players for success. Are there maybe some players who are a little bit lackluster? Sure, I'm sure there are. However, it is up to the coaches to make those adjustments when necessary. So I am super concerned about this game because I think this is a bigger game than Alabama, and I don't think anybody's taking that into consideration. And I think Tim Banks is going to blow it. I'm sorry I'm putting this out there, but I'm telling you right now, Tim Banks is going to blow it. And I don't want the entirety of Vol Nation to be disappointed when that happens. Do I think your offense is going to go out there and execute? Absolutely. Joey Aguilar has shown no other side of him than just that. Did he struggle in Alabama? Yes, but that was one bad game. But, Chris Brazzell, Mike Matthews, Braylon Staley, Deshaun Bishop, Star Thomas, these guys are ready to go. They are always ready to go, but I have zero faith in the defense at this point because they played against a wildly mediocre Kentucky team and let them get 34 points. You cannot do the same with a comparable offense. You just can't. And I guess we'll see what happens on Saturday.
While we're at it, Jay, just real quick, what do you think the final score is going to be?
I think it's going to be, honestly, another high-scoring game like Georgia or Mississippi State even. I think it's going to be a very close game, and I think it's going to come down to a field goal or maybe even a two-point conversion.
Oh, don't say that, Jay. Don't say that. Oh, God, if it comes down to a field goal.
I know. I know what you're thinking, and I'm not going to say it because I feel bad for him already.
Let me say this. I'm not one to have Vol syndrome. But I tell you what, if it comes down to a field goal and Max Gilbert has to kick it, oh, man.
Yeah, I think it's going to be a really close game. So I'm going to say it's going to be 42-34 Tennessee.
Okay, I'm going to say 34-28 Tennessee. So, hey, look, Vol faithful, this is where we at. I'd love to see us hold them to 28 points, but the truth is it probably look more like what Jay said. We'll see. Vol faithful, thank you for listening. Thank you for tuning in. We appreciate your continued support. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. And as always, go Big Orange, go Vols.